One sentence summary. Clint Eastwood is a shit family man and also an 80-year-old drugs mule. Could you be the villain? I'll be honest, I watched the whole film. It is unclear who the villain was to me. It's not Clint Eastwood's greed, because he gives up the cash to be with his family. And it's not the cartel, because they're actually pretty reasonable when he's, pulling all kinds of crazy stunts. And it's not the cops, who are, shady, but they are just trying to get drugs off the streets. So in the same situation, I'm a drugs mule and I'm 80 years old. Could I avoid jail? Yeah, I could. I just play up the fact that I'm 80 years old. But I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. And then, the cartel are probably going to come and get me, but whatever. How would you improve this film? First off, didn't see any mules in this film. Disappointing. Second off, there's so much casual racism and judgment. It went nowhere. He gives a couple of racial slurs to mainly people of Mexican descent, but one very notable situation where he's helping an African American family. Just didn't see the need for it, because it's not like Clint Eastwood's character has never met anyone who isn't white before, because you saw him back in the day working with some kind of Mexican people, I believe, or Hispanic people of some sort. And it's not like at the end of the film he's in a lot of trouble and he, is saved by the black guy or the black family that he was horrible to, or some of the old people that he used to work with, like the Mexican guys he used to work with, or anything along those lines. It's just like, isn't he a funny old guy who doesn't like technology or people who aren't white? Clint Eastwood in the film is 8 years old, so he's lived through the 70s and 80s when, according to a lot of the Netflix documentaries I've watched, the whole drug smuggling from south of the border thing kicked off. So how does he not know what drug smugglers are? How does he accidentally become a drug smuggler? The film starts when Clint Eastwood is a successful florist type dude wearing a horrible hat, and then jumps 12 years later when his business has gone down the toilet. I don't know why they did that time jump. You could have just started when his business was down the toilet and had it explained, through dialogue or seeing his former memories as he's packing up his house and moving out or something like that. When Clint Eastwood is partying with the cartel, because he's such a good drugs mule apparently, he gets a special treat of two, let's be honest, probably prostitutes. And he jokes about his heart. It's extravagant and it's debauched. Ha ha ha. Apart from earlier in the film, Clint Eastwood gets himself two, let's be honest, probably prostitutes, whilst he's doing one of the runs, and one of the cartel guys is watching him. So why is he two at a time every single time? Is that just because Clint Eastwood wants to be like, I'm a super virile dude, even though I'm 80? How much is Clint Eastwood getting paid per time? Because he does his first run, and then I'm pretty sure he buys himself a new truck and gets his house back that was being repossessed by the bank because he wasn't keeping up with the mortgage. On a similar note, if you are kind of suddenly getting into a lot of cash because of, illegal activities, try and keep that on the down low. Don't go flashing it around. So there's a bit where Clint Eastwood is told, once you get to your stop to deliver your drugs, get out of the car, leave your keys in it, someone's going to pick up the drugs, your car's going to be fine, don't worry about it. But he's like, but what if someone steals my car because I've left my keys in it? No one in Hollywood locks their car. Why would you bring that up? Doesn't make any sense. The DEA in this film, they want busts. Busts, 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 busts. Now, presumably, they are talking about arrests, not boobies. But it feels like the person who wrote this did not do a lot of research about what the DEA are actually looking for, because it was just busts. What do you guys want? We want intel. We want, to work our way up the cartel ranking. No, we want busts. There's a bit where Bradley Cooper is talking to Clint Eastwood in a cafe or roadside diner, something like that, and then Clint Eastwood walks away. Bradley Cooper, the DEA agent who's looking for the drugs mule, is like, hey, wait a second. You forgot your flask. Stop doing that, film. That's cliche. I don't like that. It's lucky that the 2 times we see a cop looking in the boot of Clint Eastwood's truck, he's got some innocent stuff in there. Because we don't see him like filling up his boot with innocent stuff and then going on the drives. They're just there when he needs them to be there, and that's silly. Mobile phones have been around since the 1980s, and Clint Eastwood's character needs to get over it because it's not like they're a newfangled thing that he can't understand. They've been around for a very long time, as has the internet. You just need to get on with it at this point. I didn't see the point of the anti-technology stuff in this because, again, like the racism, it's not like Clint Eastwood learns a lesson in this. And he's like, oh, actually, phones are quite good. I can use them to call a doctor or something like that because my ex-wife, who I actually quite like, she's dying or something along those lines. Rating out of 5 beers. I would give this a 4. It was quite boring.